Reason why I felt compelled to make this video is because honestly, after I finished watching that video, I cried. Like, I cried so much. Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Cynthia and today I am going to be giving you guys my reaction to What is a Woman documentary. So recently What is a Woman was featured on Twitter for free for I think it was last weekend, and I finally took the opportunity to watch it because it's been on kind of like my to watch list. So then I took the opportunity to watch it then. It's a great documentary. I would say like the reason why I felt compelled to write this, the reason why I felt compelled to make this video is because honestly, after I finished watching that video, I cried. Like, I cried so much. And the reason why I cried is because it really hit home for me, right? So because when I was younger, when I was like in my teens and all of that stuff, I went through what is now called gender dysphoria, because at that time we didn't have these terms, we didn't have this affirmation or whatnot. I didn't even know what LGBTQ was, you know. um, it feels like such long ago now, but and so at that time I didn't have the same information that we have now about, you know, all this gender dysphoria and not feeling like that, like, you know, like you're in the wrong body, like you were supposed to be the opposite sex type stuff, right? But like, even though I went through that, even though like growing up, you know, everybody would call me a tomboy. A few people even asked me if I was gay, right? Because of, I guess, my masculine energy at the time. um I just kept walking through it, right? I just kept going through that time of confusion, through that time of questioning, through that time of doubting. I just kept going. No affirmations needed, no type of stuff, right? And now I'm here today, proudly, right? A girl, proudly a woman, proudly the sex that I was given, and just accepting the fact that, hey, I just have a little bit more masculine energy than, you know, most other girls. It's fine, it's whatever, right? It doesn't change the fact that I am a girl, right? Even if I like to do stuff, whether I like to do stuff with my hands, or I like to cook, or whatever the case may be, it is that I like. I don't like makeup, or I like makeup, or I don't like dresses, or I like dresses, or I don't like high heels, whatever. That's just part of my personality. It's not part of my gender, which is something that I've come to know now. And I'm just really thankful, honestly, to God that I did not have this information back then, that I did not have the ability to go and just change my gender without my parents' consent, right? That I did not have the ability to like practically castrate myself, right, without my parents' consent. That I didn't start spending all this money thinking that, oh, I would be such a better person if I just looked like what I feel, or what I feel, right, or whatnot. I'm just really glad that I didn't have that opportunity, because I would be half detransitioning now, and I don't even want to know what sort of confusion, what sort of extra confusion, not to say, that I'd be going through right now, you know, trying to love myself as the woman that I am, but then like looking like something that I'm not. While these hormones or transitioning, whatever it is that they're saying that is nice, it's irreversible. And the fact that it's irreversible and is being pushed on people so hard kind of like really, it hurts my heart, right? It just really hurts my heart, because it's irreversible and it's not natural. It's not natural in any way. And we're pushing this and allowing people who can't even go, you know, buy cigarettes legally, who can't even go drink a beer legally, who can't sign their own insurance, they can't, you know, any of these things. they're not able to do it by themselves because of their age. We're letting like them make such a life altering decision. And it's not like it's not like choosing a major to go to college or choosing to like have loans to go to college type things, right? Because you can work that out, you can get a job later. Even if you get a degree in one thing, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're gonna end up working in. Like your life will still kind of like work itself in a beautiful way. But then like now if you go and you get something like this, not only have you spent like so much money just to transition to look like something you're not, not you're still in a state of confusion, right? Because it's not like just looking like a boy all of a sudden would make it go away. It doesn't. It wouldn't, right? Just looking like whatever it is you feel like, it doesn't make it go away, right? It's like, I don't know. It's like if you're hungry, like I get cravings sometimes, right? I get such massive cravings sometimes. It's like if let's say I'm craving a burger, right? And I go and I eat everything else because I feel like I'm hungry, but I'm not like eating that, but I don't eat the burger that I'm craving, right? Even though I'm eating all of these other things, it's not, I feel like I'm getting full, but it hasn't satisfied my craving, right? Until I go and I eat that burger type thing. Like I can eat chicken, I can eat wings, I can drink water, I can do all of these things to like make me not feel like I'm hungry, but the feeling of hunger is not the craving. Sometimes I don't know if anybody gets this because I don't think people have cravings like I have cravings. It's really bad. But yeah, so I just the fact that it's just being pushed on minors to go and do something so irreversible for no reason, that it doesn't, and it's not even solving the problem, right? You will think it solves the problem for like a good small bit of time, like me eating the chicken instead of the hamburger. I feel full, so I'm like, okay, I can go on until the next day. But then like the next day comes around and I still want the burger. So what am I supposed to do? Right? So it's just like a temporary satisfaction thing. And it just really hurts my heart that people are allowed to make permanent decisions off of temporary confusion. It's really like even in college, you have all 4 years to make your mind on the degree that you want, right? Provided that the degree that the classes that you're taking can line up with that degree, right? And even if you do end up graduating with a degree that you don't know what to do with, you still end up doing something later. I don't know if I'm making sense. I feel like I'm just chatting, but I'm just saying like it's just such a permanent life altering decision to say that a 5-year-old or 10-year-old or even a 16-year-old can decide for themselves. And it also kind of made me think about like the first time I went to the gynecologist, the OBGYN, because at the time I wasn't really huge on kids and I really just did not like the idea of getting pregnant and not like the idea of having to ever give birth one day. So I asked them if they could close my ovaries. The doctor said no. I didn't get mad. They said no. There's like, I don't, like, you're too young to decide that right now. Like maybe, you know, when you get older, if you still feel that way, you can come back and we'll talk about it then. But ever since that day, I've never felt the need to go back and talk about it, because guess what? Even though the Lord is still working with me about this whole being pregnant thing, it's not, or how can I say this? It's not such a big deal that I didn't get my ovaries closed type thing, right? Like I now still have the opportunity to want to be pregnant later, and then I don't have to like go into all these other medical alternatives that people have, or at least find myself in the prayer closet for a problem that I caused, right? So that's why I'm like, some of these affirmation stuff that they're saying that we need to do, or you're homophobic, or you're transphobic, or you're this, it's really for your own good, right? It's really for your own good. Like, just, I don't know, accept that the gender dysphoria is just a temporary confusion. Just I don't know, like, or like just, I don't know what to say. I just know that I'm eternally grateful that I learned to find my identity in what Christ has to say about me and not what the world has to say about me. Like, and I really pray, and I really, like, I pray so hard that a lot of the teens and the youth, even the adults, you know, in this current era would come to that understanding, right? It doesn't even have to be about like um finding your identity in Christ. It's just finding your identity outside of your feelings, because feelings change, right? I can feel like I'm on top of the world today, but then tomorrow I feel like I'm in this darkness tunnel that I can never get out of. Feelings change, right? So making permanent decisions off of temporary feelings is really not the best advice. Like, even as someone who was suicidal, people used to tell me, don't go and kill yourself because you temporarily feel sad, right? So if you're going to tell a person going through suicidal ideation, a person going through depression, not to make decisions off of temporary feelings or something that could change, why are you going to go tell a little kid to change their gender, right? When you never know, tomorrow they might feel like something else. So I think this perpetration of confusion is really, it's really the devil at work, honestly, because the Bible says that the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And what he's doing with this LGBT, he's stealing your life, he's killing, he's stealing your life, he's killing your future, and he's destroying your mental state, right? Or whatever the case is, he's stealing, he's killing, and he's destroying. Like, he's destroying your stability, because now you're just gonna continuously operate off a state of confusion, and you might you might post whatever you want to make the world think that you're the happiest person in the world, but as a person who's been acquainted with finding joy in something other than Christ, it's all just temporary, right? It's just like, oh, today I feel great, like, wow, I made such a great decision, and then tomorrow you're just kind of like, oh my goodness, what have I done with myself? What am I doing? Why am I here? And then the next day you're like, oh, I need to like make myself feel good, like I already made this decision, let's you know, go for it, like, yes. And then like tomorrow you're just kind of like, oh, you're a terrible person, why would you have, etc., etc., right? So to me, just this whole concept of like feeling affirmation, it's a bit much, because it's not every feeling that needs to be affirmed, and it's not every feeling, and it's not every feeling that's even correct, right? And then that takes me to this whole thing about like the truth is relative thing. No, actually, truth is not relative. A tree is green, and it will forever be green because we've decided that the color that the tree is green, right? That's something we've decided as a collection of people. So you can't go tomorrow and say that this tree is blue, because everybody's learned that the tree color is green, right? Fact is what's relative, because fact depends on the data that's been given to you, and fact depends on the knowledge that you have, but truth does not depend on the knowledge you have. Truth is truth, okay? And then my thing with it all is that, like, let's even take with science, right? Science, some of the things that they tell you to believe the science for is based on the data that was collected and who interpreted that data. When I was in school, they were saying that Pluto is a planet. Now I talk to my little brother, that he's like, no, it's no longer a planet. I don't remember if he said it's a dwarf planet or if it's something else. Like, what's happening there? Why is everything so fleeting, right? So fact is relative, because fact depends on the data, and fact depends on who's observing that data, right? And then the knowledge and education that that person has. But truth is truth. That's just what it is, right? We walk on the floor, we don't fly. That's truth. And it doesn't matter which set of data you look at, you don't see many people levitating without some sort of external aid, right? Most fishes swim in the sea. That's truth. Like, you don't need to know that it's a fish. You don't need to know that it's called a sea to know that there's things swimming inside of it, right? It could be called anything else, but that those items would still be paired together, So this whole like your truth, my truth, their truth, what wumbo, I wumbo, you wumbo, we all wumbo. Like, no, it's not really how this works. Anyway, I thought that's what we learned, but I'm starting to see that even in schools, schools just want to push a certain set of facts to people to have them be part of a specific agenda. And honestly, I can't be mad at the schools, because that's what everybody does. Everybody's trying to push their agenda, and everybody's trying to get you to believe this or to believe that or to do this or to do that based on this or that. But at the end of the day, like, there are some things that stay constant no matter what somebody else would have you believe, right? So I guess all I'm just trying to say is that this What is a Woman documentary, if this is really what the West is like, it's a very sad state to be in. Just this constant state of confusion. Not only are you confused, but you're making everybody else around you be confused, and you're wanting them to stay in that confusion with you. It's not okay. It's fine if you want to be confused by yourself, but everybody else doesn't have to be confused with you, right? Everybody else doesn't have to be confused with you just so you can continue to feel good about yourself. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. It's just, or maybe it is, actually, I don't know, because it seems like that's how we're making the world work right now, but it's not how it should work. And yeah, I guess I'm just gonna stop there, because I feel like I have a lot of chatting pent up in me and a lot of chatting to do. But yeah, it's really sad. And after I finished watching that video, honestly, I cried and I prayed for like 2 hours straight, because I didn't know what to do with myself. Like, I was so thankful to God. Like, oh my gosh, I was just so grateful that I did not fall into the traps of this world. Whether it's I thought I used to be, whether it's I wanted to have the asexual label, or whether it's I could have been trans right now, going through some things that I can't reverse, or whether it's feeling like I'm not black because everybody around me calls me white. Like, whatever the case is, I'm just really grateful to God that I found my identity in. Because the world will tell you that you're this or you're that, or you're here or you're there today, and then tomorrow it's completely different. And then who you are depends on who you ask, every time. So I'm just glad that I have one constant source that doesn't change on me. Like, if Jesus said that today I am beautifully and wonderfully made, 100 years from now, he will still say the same thing. If Jesus says that I am the light of the world, 100 years from now, he will still say the same thing, right? It's not like this world is like, today this one person tells you, oh, you're so white, and then you go over there, this other person tells you, oh my gosh, are you even like African or American? Like, what are you? Or then like this other person was like, oh, you should totally be a lawyer because like you defended one point really great one time, all of a sudden you're supposed to be a lawyer. Or you go over there like, you should really be a counselor because you listened to their problem and gave them what felt like sound advice at the time. Like, and then like, then when that person leaves and you stop looking at that person, you don't know who you are anymore, because they're not there constantly affirming whatever it is that you're feeling, right? And it's not sustainable for me. Like, when I look at it, I'm just like, it's not sustainable. It's a lot of heartache. It's a lot of headache. And I thank God that I could drop all of those labels that I wanted to assign myself, or that people wanted to assign me. I could just drop all of those labels and pick up the labels that he's given me and walk in those labels and find fulfillment in that. Because having direction, especially from an unchanging source, is the most peaceful thing ever in this loud world. Because this world is so loud. It's just so loud. And sometimes it can be really hard to drown out. You find yourself doing things because this person is doing it, or you saw this here, or they said this here, and it's just, This world is just so loud. But I thank God that I don't have to listen to the world. I only need to listen to him and move forward. And that's it. And even as I move forward and I listen to him, like he literally just takes me from glory to glory, from glory to glory, from glory to glory, right? So ever since I started following God and started just walking in who he said I've been, I've never had a day that I was like, why did I start doing this? That I felt like I was deceived or whatnot, because I just stopped putting so much weight on what people had to say about me. And yeah, I know I said I was supposed to stop chatting, but this is probably why I stopped chatting now. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's have a polite, I mean, it doesn't have to be polite, honestly. Just be mindful of the words you use, because there's no reason why you need to rain curses on somebody when you can be raining blessings on them. But if you have something educated to say, good or bad, put it in the comments below. If you just want to insult me and my religion as you call it, or you just want to call me a bigot or a dinosaur or uncultured, transphobic, homophobic, like whatever the case is, just don't bother, because I just did all of that for you, okay, so that you don't have to. But if you find that you want to have an actual discussion about this, leave me a comment. Thanks. Bye.